Welcome back to the Bill of Rights show on NDTV Hindu with me, Kuku Alex. This is where we tell you about your rights as a consumer and how you can exercise them. When we think of the kind of inflation that we've all lived through the past few months, fuel prices are right up there on the list of consumer concerns. Any announcement from the finance minister is eagerly awaited because we want to hear that filling up the fuel tank will not burn a hole in our pockets anymore. But do we always do the best that we can to manage the fuel that we do buy? And is there a more environment-friendly fuel in the market that we could shift to that would let us go easy on not just our pockets but also the environment and the air that we breathe? Watch this report to find out more.
In the last few years alone, India has produced over 2.3 million cars and 10.5 million two-wheelers. No wonder India is labelled the 7th largest automobile market in the world. Number crunchers also say that car sales alone grew by over 25% between 2008 and 2010. But is this consistent growth complemented by a very necessary fuel efficiency practices as well? Sadly, the answer is a big no. And with experts predicting a further 25% sales growth this year alone, they worry over the burden on the environment.
The study is basically a very negative kind of a response that we got from the consumers. It says point blank that consumers are not bothered about fuel efficiency, carbon footprint, environment. They are, however, bothered about a little about their pocket expenses being spent on fuel. Now, we have to tap this resource, telling consumers that you are increasingly paying more and therefore saving less for fuel, so save fuel.
So, here are a few tips on how you can save on your fuel bill and aim to bring down pollution levels. Driving at optimum speed, avoiding idling your engine on long signals, and opting for carpooling are some of the workable solutions you can adopt. But above all, good fuel plays a significant role in increasing the efficiency of a vehicle. But when is the last time the concerned police officials have conducted any surveys or raids on petrol bunks? The answer will shock you.
In 1996 to 2000, up to 40% of kerosene has been used as an adulterant to petrol. Similarly, 40 to 50% to diesel. And then they developed using solvents as an adulterant. It may go even up to 60%. Solvents from rubber industry, paint industry, ink industry, like that. Say they use variety of solvents as an adulterant. It's very difficult to find out.
However, there is a ray of hope. With the recent central government's directive to introduce fuel efficiency labelling for all 2 and 4-wheelers, experts feel optimistic.
We are going to test, along with Bureau of Energy Efficiency, is the vehicles being tested in actual road conditions and thereafter labeling them as fuel efficient or inefficient cars. And it's going to be again being rated as you see the star labeling on the electrical gadgets, in fact, in terms of different stars being given on different fuel consumption in different categories of vehicles.
Whether you drive a 2-seater hybrid or a 3-ton SUV, chances are you can squeeze a bit more distance out of each liter of fuel, and with today's gas prices, even the slightest improvement could bring a spark to your eyes. So, make a difference. Start a lifelong commitment to be a responsible driver on our roads and go for clean fuel. In Chennai, Bertila, NDTV Hindu.
A consumer rights activist who joined us for a discussion about this scenario had this to say.
Well, first up, let's just first address the issue of adulterants. So, can you tell us more about this? What exactly and what kind of impact does this really have?
Well, adulterants do cause the fuel to become less efficient, obviously, because they are being a high-grade fuel. For example, petrol is a high-grade, highly refined fuel. It's being mixed with kerosene. Kerosene is a low-grade fuel. So, when they mix together, obviously the combustion capability gets affected, and that in effect reduces the efficiency of the engine in terms of firing. And that's exactly what we are very concerned about. And in fact, in Consumers Association of India, we have our own fuel testing laboratory, and we have been doing testing for the last couple of years, and we find that it is definitely a matter of great concern that the government is not really doing what it can in terms of enforcing the checks at the petrol pumps, making it mandatory, and anybody who is caught adultering adulteration of fuel must be immediately hauled up, and enough penalties available in the system. It's not that new laws are required. It's just that enforcement has not been adequate.
Right, sir. Actually, in fact, there's a lot of ambiguity over the kinds of fuels that one is allowed to use when I'm talking about Euro 3 and Euro 4.
Yeah.
So, can you actually emphasize more on how Chennai is placed in terms of usage of fuels, and are people really aware of
No,
what
they are
fuels
not.
to use?
That is the saddest part. In fact, we had the girls of MOP Vaishnava College, they did a survey for us, for our seminar which was held the day before yesterday. And the surprising part was that still 23% of the people who were interviewed said that they are using leaded fuel, which has been phased out for the past so many years.
Yeah.
It just shows that people don't bother. They just drive their vehicle into a petrol pump, put the fuel, they don't even look at what fuel is being put in, and they just drive away merrily thinking that they are on the road. That's it. And when they're on the road, they are absolutely irresponsible the way they drive. There's no lane driving, there's no concern for the other person, and most people drive in a manner as though they own the road. And the saddest part is that the policing or the enforcement, which again can play a major role, is not at all evident in Chennai roads.
Right, I completely agree when you say that traffic rules sometimes and driving rules are not really adhered to. But apart from the tips that we saw over there, some of the tips on fuel efficiency, we've just passed the monsoon. We've seen bad, damaged roads that have been, through the whole process of repair for many months. That's something that we cannot really avoid. So, what in terms of fuel efficiency can we do when we come across roads like that?
Well, one is of course, make sure that you are bringing up, see, many times bad roads need to be attended to by the corporation.
Yes.
And if the public don't sit up and join hands and send up a memorandum to the corporation, how many people really sit up and do that? They are quite willing to go into potholes and do that, but just because they are in a hurry to reach wherever they are, and mind you, they are not reaching in a hurry because they will invariably meet with accidents. And then 2 weeks later, we are having a seminar on road safety, and we are going to really highlight roads condition as one of the areas which need to be really attended to in that.
And that's something that brings down the fuel efficiency to a great
Of course
level.
it does, because your braking has to happen a lot of times.
Yes.
You start, stop, brake.
Absolutely.
Obviously
The clutch
your
box
efficiency
gets
is going to
as well.
come down
That's right.
dramatically. You can't stay at what is called a steady speed.
Right.
You have to drive at low gears. Again, these are all very highly fuel inefficient
Not
ways
to
of
mention
driving.
the increasing levels of stress on being
Absolutely,
on roads for such long
absolutely.
periods
And
of
more
time as well.
important, stress on the pedestrians.
Definitely.
Look at the way the pedestrians don't have any space to maneuver, because the two-wheelers get onto the pavement to get across somebody else. Literally, if given a chance, they will even drive over a car.
Right, but this is not a problem that's come up like yesterday or even the day before. This has been a long-standing demand by many of the citizens of Chennai. Why do you think the government has really not done anything, proactive in this sense? Are there not many complaints coming up? Is that the reason why?
That's exactly it. In fact, it's a typical Indian attitude
What is the Consumer Association of India doing in
Consumer
that
Association of
respect?
India has been holding seminars, for example. We've been publishing
Have
it
you
in our
spoken
time.
to the corporation officials regarding
Of course,
this?
we have been in.
And what's the response been then?
Well, the response is that yes, we will look into it, and then there's a little bit done here and there, but that's it. I mean, that's not sufficient. See, there's got to be a movement. See, what is happening? The consumer in India is not awakened. He's still, only when he's in major trouble, he comes to bring it to our attention. And you see, we don't have the wherewithal to have, let's say, remote cameras everywhere to watch everything. It's only when people bring it to our attention that we are in a position to go about looking into it and bringing it up to. And let me assure you that government will wake up only when the public wake up, and public must do their responsible roles of maintaining what they are supposed to do. They don't do it, means the government will also take it. Okay, public are accepting it, let's go ahead with it.
Right. One last comment before we wrap this discussion. What is the general awareness about carpooling and other such initiatives?
Very poor.
this,
In fact, the
city?
same survey which we did showed that hardly about 12% of the people were even aware of what carpooling is all about, and very few people I think 32% of the people said that they are not averse to public transport. Rest of them are saying, no, I have got a car, I must drive my car. They must go the Singapore way, really. Singapore, they penalize people who drive single.
Really?
Yeah, they have a system by which if you're
But I
on the
don't
fast
think,
lane, you are moved to the slow lane just because you're driving one.
In fact, there are lanes which are meant in the US for carpooling alone.
Absolutely,
So we need to
absolutely. And
follow
we
that
need
as
to
well.
do that. I think India is a country which is bulging on the sides with vehicle growth, but the roads are not capable of taking that. And the only way is to penalize people who are traveling irresponsibly.
We head into one last break on Bill of Rights, but on the other side, we tell you how you get help from a third party to resolve consumer disputes. Do stay tuned.